Crystal and Shanice. Listen, she made me do it. I hate it, but she made me do it.
It's year 7, guys. Happy 7 years to us. We are celebrating 7 years. And this is pretty special. And of course, I just wanted to come on and say thank you guys for all that you have done. This has been a lot. So 7 years ago when this platform started, April 23rd, 2016, we weren't expecting all of this here to come from it, because I think we were both at very transitional stages in our life. Like we were both, we had a lot going on.
Right. Actually, we were more focused on business during that time.
Yeah,
honestly.
more focused on like stability, stabilizing as young Black women. You know what I mean? Like we got to get to what we got to get to. But this was part of like God's divine plan. So to see 7 years come, what does that mean to you? Because you started it all, girl. What does that mean to you?
Well, I'm just excited about how it grew so quickly. You know, I know Chris just be going off about something. You know, not really going off, but just like talking. So she was
How
just
you going off?
She was
go off.
We're having this conversation, and she just was just so passionate about it, and it was just like, hey, put this on camera, you know. And from there, I mean, to wake up and you're like, the video went viral, but it was actually on her personal page, but when she had it back in the day. But
all right.
But yeah, to see the fruit come from this platform, I appreciate you guys for supporting my sister. I really appreciate that. She definitely works hard.
Yeah, you know.
She make it look easy, but she put in work.
That's right.
I can honestly attest that she's not paying me, but you can cut the check later. She's actually not paying me to say this, but definitely when I tell you the hardest worker I know personally, she's definitely one of those people who really will serve. In fact, she serves so much, sometimes she has to take a step back to make sure she's not overdoing it.
Right.
Man, I'm so appreciative of you guys supporting her, supporting God, most importantly.
Right.
And give it up
for the Lord, y'all.
But I appreciate you guys, and this is who she is. I mean, it's as real as it gets. And one thing I can say, Chris is not about to change, not in front of me, not in front of anybody else. What you see is what you get. So yeah, she's 100% about that. So obviously, she is the queen of keeping it real, because she's definitely that. I appreciate y'all supporting my sister, like I said, and it's only going up from here.
That's right. I really feel like these 7 years have gone by so swiftly, and where a lot has happened, it's almost like I still feel like I haven't taken it all in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, what just happened? Like I blinked and then we're in 2023. That's how it literally feels like I blinked and we are here now. Like, okay. And then a lot has happened, like personally, right? So like we're not in the space we were in 2016 when we first started. You know what I mean? Like everything's changed. Like nothing is the same except for the 613. Sometimes you bring that thing back, but nothing's the same. Like everything's different now. You know, we have a different level of people on the platform. Our personal lives are so different. And just for people to grow, I feel like I started as a baby here, you know, and people have gotten an opportunity to grow with me and just see that all come. And a book being birthed in year 5 has been probably one of the biggest fruit of this platform, like by far. It's been one of the like major things, but at the same time, like growing with people, like, you know, y'all have had children, y'all have sent me pictures, like I know y'all baby's name, y'all husbands, and everybody, hey, tell Quan, I say, hey, you know, like that's important for me, because I feel like real people make real things. And I feel like to know you guys on that level, to interact with you all, and that means a lot, because from the very beginning, it was like, if you're gonna do this, like connect. You know, don't be doing nothing just to do it. You know, if you hear you're doing it with purpose, and we didn't know it was gonna happen like how it happened. You know, it's so many of y'all now. You know what I mean? I feel like we got a house full of people, and it's just amazing. You know, it's amazing. And book number 2, that's been a question. Emails, stuff on the website. When is book number 2? why y'all want to put number 2 already? It's just like, enjoy number 1. You know what I mean? Like, y'all trying to keep me on the battlefield, but yeah, we got some things, but just enjoy book number 1. It's a lot to eat off of that, and I ain't necessarily saying I want to be on that battlefield right now to do book number 2, but it's some things always in the work.
It's definitely in the arsenal.
Yeah.
She has.
Yeah.
Again, when it's backed by God, it's really effortless. Seriously, like it doesn't take much effort. What it does take is sacrifice. Now, sacrifice and just when God is backing it, it just flows. So definitely, I think that sit tight.
Sit tight, right?
Sit tight. Honestly, let me tell you this. We didn't plan this. We didn't even plan the actual connection.
Right.
And the actual journey. It was nothing planned.
Right.
And I think a lot of times people
Surprise
overthink
us.
situations and overthink, how can I fulfill my purpose? It was none of that. Like, it was just pretty much living life, and then God kind of directs it from there. And you go off of God's plan. It doesn't have anything to do with you. In fact, all of my plans honestly failed. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
My personal plans never actually successfully.
Thank God they failed.
Oh,
Thank God they failed. Thank God that those plans failed. Thank you, Jesus. We just want to take the time right now and bow our heads on the horse. Thank you, Lord. Thank God they failed. No, legit, because you couldn't plan it the way that
that's
God
when you know
plans
it's
it.
God, when it almost just takes over. Like you really pretty much just show up.
Just show up.
You just show up and let God. But when you start to really overly think things and plan and
we just winging it.
If I would have went with my plan, Chris Speaks wouldn't be here.
Totally not.
You probably would have met her in the grocery store somewhere or something like that. But definitely,
because I've been talking to people in the grocery store. You gotta sell paper.
Chris told anybody.
I told who you is, how you doing. But I think that even as we kind of like recap this year, it really means to me celebration. And I know that when we talked this morning, you was just saying how reverence was on your spirit,
right?
Like the word reverence, and that's very important. And even in the 7th year, as we go forward, I think that's a really great thing, like reverence and celebration. Just to like revere God, to respect everything that he's doing in your life, the good, the bad, the ugly, the unseen, the we don't know, girl, what's going on. But yeah, respect that, because that's why we are here where we are, because just respecting God's plan over our life, like respect my call, right? Respect God's plan. Yeah. Shameless plug, but no, legit. If you out there as well, divine partnerships, that's what this platform was built upon. Divine partnerships. That really makes me feel some type of way, because when you have a divine partnership, whether it's your husband, whether sometimes it's your children, right? God will have you sometimes birth the very thing that's going to help birth you to your next level. But in terms of divine partnership, it will be attacked, but you have to stand firm. Like we ain't going nowhere. Like that's the type of thing, because if you fold under attack, you don't get to the treasure, you don't get to the purpose, you don't get to the fruit. And I think that takes a bit of gulliness, you know what I mean? Like straight up where we from, like you just bred different. And I want to say that to you guys, because this platform is also helping birth other platforms and other people. And in each of you, there's a whole nation. And for some of you guys that I talk to, even on a personal level, I'm seeing what God is doing in your life. And that's mind blowing to me, to see what God has brought y'all from. But at the same time, like, you can't give up when it's hard.
Right.
You got to keep going. Like, you can't give up when you're tired.
Right.
You know how tired I've been? Last 7 years and some spurts in my life, like tired. But you got to keep going, and you got to stop when the job is finished. And it's a journey. There's not necessarily an end point. We kind of quit when we transition. Right. That's when it stops. That's the only time it stops. But in between, protect your partnerships. Protect those divine partnerships. Protect those divine I don't care if it's your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother that come against that. If God has placed it together, let no man curse it. That's just not in your marriage. That's for divine partnerships. And everything isn't a divine partnership. But if God is calling you to a covenant bond, you know, people seem to think that the Ruth and Naomi is just a foreign thing. Like it couldn't happen in today, but that's the same God. That's the same God. So why is that foreign? You read about it, you talk about it, but then when you see the physical manifestation, you judge it.
Right.
Don't do that. You know what I mean? So yeah, year 7, we are celebrating, we are reverencing, and we just gonna bask in it.
Absolutely. And I would like to add, as you go on this journey, and if God sends you someone on your journey to fulfill whatever, you know, mission he has at hand, a lot of times I think I'm going to use the word control.
Yeah.
Like, don't try to control it. You know, if God sends you someone next to you, like sometimes it might not even feel like that's your element. Like you may feel like, I'm not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
I may not want to do that. Like just don't try to control it.
Don't fight it.
You know, don't fight it, because sometimes some people are trying to push you into your greater. But if you control everything, or you try to control how the program is going to go, or you try to control how this is going to go, you don't give any room for God. So I think the most important part is don't control it, and most importantly, make sure you show respect for the individual, because
I respect you. Because I respect you. I respect you. I picked up her dry cleaning last week. Respect, honey. You ain't too good to. I can pick up your dry cleaning. I pay for it too.
But seriously, like, that goes a long way. Respect. Like, I think a lot of people, they say it, and I'm big on that. Like, just respect, loyalty, commitment to one another. It doesn't matter, like, if it's a mission for God, you have to reverence God enough to not allow anybody to come and, you know, disrupt that, because they are enemy to the purpose of God when they come and try to do something like that. So, you know, you gotta ask yourself a question. You know, what's more important? You know, God or their opinion? Yeah. So, walk with God in this season. You know, everybody else's opinion really doesn't matter.
And if I can say this, because I know the video's going right now, but when it talks about, when my sister just said the word respect, right? Some people have been in toxic environments their entire life. So when respect, love, and courtesy comes in their midst, they don't know what to do with that thing. And oftentimes when God is, even you're a gentle person, you're a tender-hearted person, God is having you administer that thing, you'll be judged, you'll be talked about, you will be, some of the most heinous things will be said about you, but do that anyway. That's called humility. And when the word of God says, like, the humble shall taste the grace, I'm proof of that. Right. I am so much proof of that. Like, I can't tell you guys on like a real raw note how many people have judged me for the protection I've had for my sister, for the level of servitude that I've had for her. Like, if your feet hurt, I'm going to massage your feet. If your back hurts, if something's going on in your life, like, I am here for you. And although many people say, you know, the concept of serving, they don't really know what that means, because the same people that will say you got to serve your way, you got to do X, Y, and Z will be the ones to judge you. And when those words are administered by people that you respect and revere, those things hurt. You know, don't internalize that. You do what God said anyway, because I can tell you this, on a back end, like, there's nothing that I wouldn't do. Like, what do you need me to do? No problem, because I feel like that's how God gets us from level to level. Those are the steps. Humility is the ground basis for the steps to elevation. Right. And there's a lot of people who want to be elevated, but there's not many people that want to be stripped. Right. So understand, when you're saying, God, take me to my greatest level, you're also asking God to strip you of everything that makes you prideful, of everything that makes you feel pompous in your spirit, and those things don't feel good. But either way, if you are in a position and God's brought somebody into your life, cut out the noise. Love on that person. Serve your way. Do whatever. Because there's so much more. Like, I wasn't the one on the scene. I wasn't the one on the scene. People have made note of that. You weren't even the one on the scene. Like, yeah, that's right. Because sometimes you got to be in the shadows, baby. Sometimes you got to learn. Sometimes you got to understudy. So when you take the stage, you don't be made a fool
Exactly.
of. I know what it's like in the back. I know what it's like in the green room. This stuff ain't no surprise to me. I know what lights, camera, action in the back look like.
And I think a lot of times, even speaking of the shadows, a lot of people don't want to work in the shadows. Like they want the light, but they don't want the shadow work. And I feel like if you actually took the time to work in the shadows,
Yeah.
and you learn some things. See, the thing about it is y'all missing so many steps. You want the light, but when the light starts shining, you don't know what to do with it.
You don't know how to do.
You know what I mean? So humbly serve your way to greatness. That's the goal, you know. And Chris doesn't have a problem with that. She never had a problem with that. You know, y'all may see her face now, but y'all don't know what the sacrifices she's made prior to, you know, Chris Speaks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as she said, Chris is that person. She is not too holy or feel like she's too upright to not, you know, really literally rub the feet of someone, or you need something, let me wash your dishes. She literally be out there washing someone's dishes.
That's what we gotta get done. Like,
So,
what's up? Like,
that's who she is.
keep my nails short for a reason sometimes.
You know, that's what she does. And she's not one of those people where you're gonna use her either. But she's a little too wise for that.
I love the sound of my feet walking away from situations that don't serve me. You feel
But
me?
she enjoy to be a servant to God. And that's what most people don't understand. Like, to be a servant to God and his people, she really does do this out of the genuine nature of her heart, like to serve you guys. I mean, it's not easy to throw up a video every other day when you want to go out and have some fun.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Some things really take sacrifice, and it does take commitment. It does take focus. I mean, she has a whole life of her own.
I think that's what people forget.
And I think that most people don't realize that she has a career, multiple licenses in these careers that she does have. She has businesses to run, but at the same time, she does take time out to make sure that you guys get spiritually fed. So that in itself, I appreciate you. If they don't say that, I appreciate what you do for God. So definitely, I love you, and just continue to do what you're doing.
Thank you.
Continue to let God use you. And that's one thing about Chris, though. Like, one thing about her boldness, though, it's like on a different level. Like, she's not one of those people who are going to like withhold what she feel or what she want to say. She don't say things in a malicious way to hurt someone, but at the same time, it's not one of, you know, some people like, I just let it roll off. In fact, I'll probably be like, I'll let it go.
Yeah,
but,
you're like that
I'll
person.
let it go, but
I'm like,
it's not about her not letting it go, but that she's taught me so much in that regards. Like,
Thank you.
Speak up. You know what? You know, if it does bother you or something doesn't feel right, like, you shouldn't have to stay in situations that don't serve you.
right.
And so,
because if they make you feel some type of way,
right.
tell them today. And go to sleep good. Tell them today.
yeah. And one thing about her is, like, with holding things in that she should have said, honestly, is more of a effect that I've seen on her than her saying it. So when she get on here and say it, trust me, she going to sleep. She ain't thinking about it.
I said that so I can't sleep.
When Chris is not able to speak about it, that's when it's a problem. But trust me, y'all may think she pressed, but what she said, trust me, that's almost.
I'm laid out, baby. I go to sleep on my private time, honey. Okay.
She going to say what she have to say, and she go take her seat. So definitely, she is the queen of keeping it real, as you know it. And I'm appreciative of your realness and your commitment to the people. So I appreciate y'all too for just supporting my sister. I appreciate you guys and those who sow into her, you know, with your love offerings, and that she don't ask for anything, but she does labor. But she labors for you guys, and the ones who give her words of encouragement, the ones who pour into her, who pray for her. You know, that's a blessing. And I say thank you for that, because a prayer can go much further than anything you can possibly do on a tangible level. You know what I mean? So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and y'all got my sister talking more than she talks on camera. Let's give it up for that. But year 7, thank you so much for your words. Thank you so much. And for those of you out there, thank you guys. I'll buy you some ice cream. I will buy you some ice cream, dear. I'll have
it comes with ice cream.
Right. But for those of you who are out there, I just want you to know I appreciate you all. I love you. I thank you for the prayers. I thank you for the sacrifice. This is only going to get better, feel better, get bigger. And, you know, as we go into different territory, you know, we're going to bend our knees and keep walking forward. That's what it is, because this terrain is getting steeper.
Yeah.
And in order to not fall back off and hit a rock bottom, you got to bend your knees and press on. So that's what we're doing. And we in this. Love you much.
Love y'all.